Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're doing something that is just incredibly valuable for anyone who's looking to really streamline their business operations. What we're doing is a complete, comprehensive operational teardown of freelance graphic design pipelines. We're calling it our Fiverr Business Logo Design Services Review. Instead of just, scrolling through pretty pictures and inspiration boards, we're actually analyzing how professional designers benchmark their creative workflows against some of the absolute top-tier marketplace talent out there. So grab a notepad, let's dive right into this and see how you can structurally improve your brand's visual identity pipeline. Right off the bat, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How exactly do you scale corporate design without inflating your overhead? Today, we're totally bypassing those standard, subjective top 10 inspiration lists you see everywhere online. Instead, we're here to rigorously evaluate the actual structural pipeline that's required to optimize your operational capital when you're outsourcing corporate identity packages. Ultimately, we want to figure out how you can get that top-tier agency-level branding without the top-tier agency-level bloat. So let's get into section 1, the problem, overhead versus unpredictability. Which brings us to section 2, the benchmark, deconstructing a Fiverr Pro. Okay, before we completely unpack the massive volume of reviews this particular seller has, let's quickly ground this in our core problem. As a business decision maker, you're usually stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Traditional in-house design hiring carries immense overhead. We're talking benefits, salaries, and just massive recruitment risk. But on the flip side, navigating freelance platforms can sometimes feel totally unpredictable. You might get an absolute masterpiece, or you might get a massive headache. So, to solve this and establish a real baseline for efficiency, we went straight to the source material to benchmark a top-rated Fiverr seller named Ollie, who operates under the handle SuperGFX. By tearing down his proven workflow, we can figure out exactly what a frictionless design pipeline looks like. And that leads us directly to this crucial metric: 5,258. That represents the total number of reviews this specific seller has accumulated. Even more impressive, he's maintained an exceptional 4.8 rating over a 12-year professional career. Think about that for a second. In the freelance world, surviving for over a decade while maintaining that sheer volume and quality, that is not just about being good at art. That's about mastering a highly efficient operational system. And here's the result of that system. People keep coming back. For B2B decision makers, this right here is the golden metric. This platform indicator demonstrates a really high rate of repeat business, which clearly signals reliable corporate delivery and sustained brand value. Look, businesses don't go back to a freelancer who causes friction. They go back to a pipeline that just works flawlessly. Moving right along to section 3, evaluating the creative pipeline. So we've established the volume, but what about the actual day-to-day experience? Let's examine some qualitative data to understand the communication turnaround, the execution speed, and the overall structural workflow. I absolutely love this quote from a long-term buyer. They said, "I refuse to use any other seller specifically because of their precision, attention to detail, patience." As noted by this client, structural precision and patience in execution are exactly the things that anchor a sustainable, scalable outsourcing relationship. When a corporate buyer says they literally refuse to use anyone else, you know the operational friction has been completely eliminated. And honestly, this next quote reinforces that entirely. Another buyer writes, "He got right to the point and did it with a sense of urgency. He understood the task and executed it well." This highlights such a vital operational metric, that sense of urgency and the immediate comprehension of corporate expectations. In the B2B world, let's be real. You don't have time for excessive onboarding and handholding. You need a partner who just gets it immediately and executes, which is a classic hallmark of a mature design pipeline. All right, section 4, deconstructing the deliverables. So the communication is solid, but what are you actually buying at the end of the day? Moving beyond just the communication and the reviews, we have to objectively evaluate the guaranteed file types and the visual assets being delivered. Looking at the entry-level package, which incredibly is just $40, the turnaround is a lightning-fast 2 days. Yet somehow, it includes unlimited revisions. This fundamentally mitigates your initial hiring risk. Seriously, think about that. Unlimited revisions means your financial exposure is strictly capped at $40, but your guarantee of walking away with a usable concept is practically 100%. Plus, right out of the gate, you get a concept, a vector file, a 3D mockup, and the source file. Let's dig a little deeper into those specific files, because this is exactly where the rubber meets the road for your operational capital. A truly professional pipeline requires versatile source files. This benchmark guarantees clean vectors and fully editable Adobe Illustrator files. AI, EPS, PSD, SVG, PDF, the whole shebang. This ensures your assets remain completely adaptable. If you need to blow your logo up to put it on a billboard tomorrow or hand it off to an in-house animator next year, you are fully equipped to do so without having to start from scratch. Furthermore, this pipeline goes way beyond just handing you a flat logo. The inclusion of 3D mockups in full corporate stationery ensures that your visual identity translates instantly across both digital platforms and physical print mediums. It's brilliant because it allows your stakeholders to visualize the brand in the real world immediately, which massively accelerates internal buy-in. Which brings us to Section 5, the Commercial Rights Framework. Protecting your brand equity means meticulously scrutinizing the legal transfer of intellectual property whenever you're sourcing external design assets. You absolutely cannot afford to build a brand on rented land. Commercial rights, by definition, is the legal authorization granted to the buyer, allowing them to use the customized design for any business and profitable purposes. According to the GIG's frequently asked questions from our source material, every unique design comes with full commercial rights. This ensures total corporate ownership of your visual identity with absolutely zero lingering licensing fees. You buy it, you own it, period. So how do we actually bring this all together? Well, here is the pipeline integration laid out in 5 incredibly simple steps. 1. Choose the service package. 2. Share your business details and preferences. 3. Receive your initial concepts. 4. Request any necessary revisions. And 5. Receive your final deployed files. Operationalizing this pipeline transforms what is usually a highly chaotic, totally unpredictable creative process into a fixed, highly efficient business workflow. It's essentially systematized creativity. And finally, Section 6, protecting your brand equity. The overarching goal here is simple: transform an unpredictable expense into a fixed, highly efficient investment. Utilizing this modern, minimalist branding strategy allows agile businesses exactly like yours, to leverage a vetted freelance infrastructure for immediate, high-quality deliverables. You don't need to build the infrastructure yourself. You literally just plug into an existing, optimized one. This level of B2B outsourcing provides unparalleled flexibility. It allows you to scale your design requests up or down exactly according to your current growth trajectory, all without inflating your long-term overhead costs. It's a real game changer. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final provocative question to think about. Is your current design pipeline actually maximizing your brand equity? Please do not leave your market positioning to chance. I highly encourage you to evaluate your current design operations today. Compare them against the benchmark we just tore down, and ensure you are truly protecting and scaling your brand's visual identity. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep optimizing.